Hi, I'm Mike Wilkins, the pastor of the Manly Memorial Baptist Church in Lexington, Virginia. Thanks for watching on this Maundy Thursday. For over 1,700 years, Christians have observed Maundy Thursday by remembering Christ's words and actions as he gathered with his disciples for their Last Supper together. By the way, as they did that night, we will be sharing the bread and the cup together in just a few moments. So if you need to get some wine or juice or a piece of bread or a cracker to use later as we take the Lord's Supper, this might be a good time to pause this message and go get them. The word Maundy is from the Latin word for command. It is also where we get our word mandate. It reminds us that it was on this night Jesus said to his disciples, "A new commandment I give you, that you love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." And though it may seem a bit odd that we aren't physically together in a sanctuary for this time of remembrance, I remind you that the Last Supper took place in a house much like the one you and I are sitting in right now. As unsettling, unnerving, and uncertain as these days of the pandemic are for us, I still find it hard to imagine the chaos and confusion the disciples experienced on the night in which Jesus was betrayed. It had all started out so well. The disciples met in an upper room for a traditional Passover Seder. They were still basking in the glow of the cheering crowds from Palm Sunday. They had laughed, eaten, and even argued together some. All in all, they were having a good time together. But then Jesus let them know that this was not going to be just another ordinary meal together, nor was it going to be just another ordinary night. Jesus quickly led them through a series of unprecedented actions. He took on the role of a servant and washed their feet. He reinterpreted the meal so that the broken bread represented his soon-to-be broken body, and the wine his soon-to-be shed blood. Finally, he shocked them by saying that one of them would betray him. They were all so busy wondering whether they could do such a horrible thing that no one made the connection to Judas when he slipped out of the room. The disciples were still trying to process all of these stunning revelations as they made their way to the Mount of Olives to spend the night in the Garden of Gethsemane. But they had little time to catch their breath and consider what they had seen and heard. A whirlwind of events soon swept them all away. Their failure to pray as Jesus requested. The arrival of the temple guards armed to the teeth. Judas's betrayal of Jesus with a kiss. The arrest of Jesus, the scramble of the disciples to get away, the rigged trial to condemn Jesus. Peter denying that he even knew Jesus, not once, but 3 different times, just as Jesus had predicted. And Jesus being savagely beaten by the guards. It was a night unlike any other the disciples had ever experienced before or ever would again. It was only later, when the disciples made themselves remember that horrible night, that they began to realize what Jesus had done for them in that last meal together. That Last Supper gave them a positive way to remember Jesus and what he meant to them on such a terrible night. And even more than that, during the meal, Jesus reminded them that though they would soon face unparalleled challenges and changes, that he had given them words to comfort them in all their trials and troubles. During the supper, he told them that he loved them no matter what, offered them his peace to sustain them in the chaos, and then promised them that through the Holy Spirit, he would be with them through it all, each step of the way. Like those early disciples, we may also find ourselves reeling from the amount of challenges and changes suddenly being forced upon us. Like them, we are also stunned by how quickly our lives and circumstances have changed. But like them, we can also find the hope and healing that we need as we remember the words of Jesus at the table. Listen now as Brian Cave, Jen Spears, and Lucy Wilkins sing, "He is light, he is life, he is love."
this table come and dine, feast on bread, partake the wine. Do this in remembrance of me.
This my body and my blood, for the weary soul outpoured. Do this in remembrance of me. I was given for you.
Come and taste of the Father's love as you drink from the cup. Remember the blood shed for you,
shed for you.
I am light, I am life, I am love. At this table come and dine, feast on bread, partake the wine. Do this in remembrance of me. I was given for you. Come and taste of the Father's love as you drink from the cup. Remember the blood shed for you. I am light, I am life, I am love.
On the night in which he was betrayed, Jesus took the bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "This is my body, broken for you. Eat this in remembrance of me." Then Jesus took a cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "This is my blood of the new covenant, which is poured out for the many, for you, for the forgiveness of sins. Drink this in remembrance of me." Through the Lord's table, Jesus is saying to each one of us today, don't let your heart be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. Don't be afraid. I love you. And no matter what happens, or how much change and challenge you may encounter in these days, I will be with you always. Because of Jesus and what he has done for us, even in this time of uncertainty, we can have hope. Thanks for watching. Now, despite these tense and turbulent times in which we find ourselves living, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Amen.